to BioS3 Raw TV. Well, this is the one that I've been getting questions on for like 2 weeks now, and it's, Jerry, what are your Olympia picks? Now, in the past, I think it's like 2012, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is going to be my 6th year doing Olympia picks. And if you go back and look at the last ones, and not even just the Olympia, Arnold and stuff like that too, pretty goddamn close. I mean, I'm 99% of the, well, I think I always pick the person that wins. Second, third, and fourth, many times can be interchangeable depending on who's off and who nails it. Okay, but usually the guy who wins, it's usually the top level tier pros that are, you know, the guys that are the top few. You know, like top 5 in the Olympia can go into any other show and pretty much blow everybody off the stage. It's just kind of how that goes. So when one of those top 5 names shows up at one of the other shows, you know that they're the front runner to win. So I got to look up the actual competitor list, which see if it's over here on the laptop. And I know that there's, I'm only going to be doing the Olympia picks. I'm not going to be doing the classic physique. Well, I'll do classic physique too. Fuck it, because I know some of those guys. But the 212 class and like bikini and, you know, physique. Well, I don't even know who's doing physique. Anyway, the list is, it doesn't matter. I know who they are anyways. So let's do the physique first. Physique, men's physique. Jeremy Buendia is going to win again. I mean, 4-time. I mean, the pictures I've seen of him, and I'll be honest with you guys, I have not been following bodybuilding, physique, classic. I'm not following this shit at all anymore. It's just kind of not my thing anymore. I'm not super interested in the sport as a whole anymore. I'm interested in the individuals and their personal journeys and the things that they go through and their triumphs and their challenges and stuff. That's what I'm really interested in. I'm really more interested in the humane part of it, the human side of it, rather than the sport of it itself. Because, you know, once you get to the, you know, the show, you don't pick who wins. The judges do. And it's a very subjective, so it's more interesting to me to follow the person through it and their struggles and stuff like that. So Buendia is going to win. I do believe that Jeremy Potvin is going to be up there in the top 3. So second or third, I believe him too. There's a couple other guys that are, you know, Jason Poston's sitting out. Sadiq has gone to classic physique. So I believe those will be the top 2. There's so many other fucking physique pros, I don't even know who they are. I mean, there's so many of them, they stand up on stage and they win shows and they're like, oh, this is so-and-so. I don't know who the fuck they are. He's a pro. I'm like, cool, whatever. So there's so many fucking physique pros. I mean, those two there that stand out to me, Potvin and Buendia, and I do believe that they're going to be 1 and 2. Now, the men's classic physique. Here's an interesting one. Do I think Denny Hester will repeat? I do not. I think that now there are pretty much some standards set, and I think they're still trying to get the, you know, the full standards of what they want. But I think you got Sadiq, Arash is his name. Like you got Arash, Chris Bumstead or Bumfield or Bumpton or whatever the fuck his name is from Canada. And as of tonight, the fucking video that I saw, and I said before, can Flex Wheeler do it? Flex Wheeler. I do believe he'll be in the top, and I do believe that any one of those 4 guys can win if they're on. I'll be 100% honest with you. The video of Flex Wheeler tonight, his hamstrings are separated. His fucking quads are separated all the way up to his fucking hip. His legs are big. So a lot of people are, you know, because Kevin Levrone came back last year, were comparing Flex to Kevin and saying that, well, he won't be on par, he won't be what he was before. But don't forget, Flex is going into a smaller weight class. He's not gaining the type of muscle that Kevin had or had to gain again to be in the open class. And I'm telling you right now, I could easily see them going Flex Wheeler, hands down, here you go. The other guys may be a little bit harder, a little bit drier or whatever, but Flex beat a lot of guys that were harder and drier. He's beat Sean Ray, he's beat Kevin Levrone, beat Andreas Munzer, who was definitely fucking shredded and dry, with those fucking crazy muscle bellies. So if you have a guy that has the symmetry, has the small joints, has the posing, the amazing classical posing, you guys got to forget that you could have the greatest physique, and I'm actually an NPC test judge. You're taught that if they get on stage and they have the greatest physique and they pose like fucking idiots, and they can't show it, even if they're just standing there, they look great. When they hit a pose, if the other guy looks better in them hitting the pose, even the other person's drier or whatever, and they look all weird and contorted, they're not showing their physique right. So he's going to walk in there and pose those classical poses, those amazing poses, separations that nobody thought he'd have, the fullness that he's got right now. I'm like, fuck, he looks like a version of Flex Wheeler of the old. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that top 2, men's classic physique. The Arash guy and Flex Wheeler. I do believe they'll battle it out. I would like to see Sadiq in there. I see Sadiq in the top 3 again. I don't know if he's going to be able to peak. I know Flex is going to peak. This guy Arash, could he come off? Who knows? You know Flex is going to peak. And I do feel like Sadiq was off last year. I did like Sadiq's physique last year. And that Chris Bumfield or Bumstead or whatever his name is, I feel like he lacks a little bit of the mass. And I think that when you stand him next to these other guys, you're going to see he lacks a little bit of mass. But he's got an amazing physique. Great symmetry. Beautiful lines. I mean, overall, I mean, just an amazing physique. But Flex actually has the classic physique. Like what I think they would base it on, that, you know, those flowing lines are just... You know, I was watching the video and I called my wife and I said, look at this. I said, this is what... She doesn't really know. She's like, oh, he looks good. Looks like everyone else. I'm like, no, he doesn't. I think you understand. Those deep lines in his fucking leg when he's doing leg extensions, I was like, fuck. So those that doubted that he would look even that good, trust me, there's another week left. And these guys, you know, Flex has been to bat. He's done more shows than all these guys. He's got the experience. He has the muscle back that he needed. He's got the fucking cuts. He's got the symmetry. He's got, I mean, his hamstrings doing leg curls. I can't speak in volumes enough about this guy. His hamstrings doing leg curls, I was like, holy fuck. Now, in his Christmas tree, I mean, everything, he was just thick in the right places, and I would like to see Flex win. That's my personal opinion. We'll have to see what they look like when they stand on stage, but I think Flex can outpose these guys. I think he could out-shape these guys, and size-wise, he's there. So a couple of my guys made him more conditioned, but I don't think that would be enough to topple Flex Wheeler. So I do believe that, you know, he could beat Arash. That's my personal opinion. Now, the Mr. Olympia, the open class. Everybody's been hyping up Big Ramy. Big Ramy this, Big Ramy that. Well, they need to hype Big Ramy. You know why? Because there's no fucking Kai Green there. And without Kai there or Kevin, like he saved the show last year, people know Phil's so dominant he's going to walk in there and win. So now Phil doesn't like to show his physique beforehand. He likes to have that mystique factor. He likes to hide it and show up, and people go, fuck, and they wonder, is he going to come in tight enough? Is he going to be this? And sure enough, he shows up razor sharp, full, feels bigger than ever. He's going to be fucking shredded to the bone, dry, everything that he does. Phil is going to win again. I predict Phil, number 7, hands down. Second place, it's going to be a toss-up, depending on who comes in condition, who doesn't nail it. Dexter Jackson and Sean Roden are going to be second and third again. Those are the guys that are most like Phil Heath that can compete with him on that level. And the judges have made it very clear in the last fucking 6 years, Phil's undefeated at the Olympia. They've made it very clear that physiques like Kai, Roden's won shitloads of shows, Dexter's won shitloads of shows. They like their physiques. They prefer their physiques over a lot of the other guys. Now, that being said, those three, top 3, Phil Heath, Dexter Jackson, Sean Roden. Now, in fourth, I do believe Ramy could come in 4th. I don't believe he's going to crack the top 3. I could be wrong. But from what I'm seeing, and I know what I'm looking at in pictures of him by himself, when he stands next to the other guys on the stage, dialed in and stuff, it's going to be a different story. You can't tell until that day, but what I've seen so far is not enough to beat Phil. It's just not. And, you know, he's never beaten Sean. He's never beaten Dexter. You know, you're talking about a guy that has won shows before, but every time he goes in against the caliber of these guys, he doesn't do as well as everybody wants him to. He's a great guy. I love the guy. He's got a big smile on his face. He loves being a bodybuilder. Love Ramy to death. But he just lacks that genetic feature that these other guys have that they wind up beating him with. Now, 5th place, and this one people are probably going to go, Jerry, what the fuck? Brandon Curry. I do believe 100% that Brandon Curry again, and Cedric McMillan could be in there in the top 5 too. So you're going to see, I mean, it's all about who nails it. Because some of these guys are not consistent. Some of them have won shows, but not deep shows. When you stand next to the best in the world, it really shows your weaknesses if you're not 100% fucking dead on. So I do believe Brandon Curry will be in the top 5, as well as Cedric McMillan. And I believe that, again, whoever shows up in shape, whoever nails it, whoever comes in dry is going to beat the other guys who are not. It's that simple. Who's ever on is going to win. Whoever's off is not going to beat them. It comes down to that simple. But Phil is going to win again. I mean, mark my words. It's not a foregone conclusion. It's not a definite. But Phil Heath has, for 6 years, improved in certain areas. He's bigger than ever. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've seen pictures of him. He's a fucking moose right now. And he's dry, and he's hard, and he's everything that they want in Mr. Olympia, you know? So if you don't have a physique similar to that, and Dexter has a physique, Sean Roden has a physique, Cedric McMillan has a physique like his, Brandon Curry, they all have physiques not similar, but that can compete with Phil's. And Ramy's just big and dry, and he has pretty good symmetry, but he's not quite like them. So I think that's going to be the top 6 guys. Everybody else through that, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know who's competing. I looked through the names and saw the guys that I thought, would be up there, and I went and checked their Instagrams out to see what they looked like, and that's where I think they'll fall. So we will see again after the show where everybody places, but this is year number 7, 6. Year number 6, 7, whatever. Anyways, it's been, quite a long time that I've been doing this, and we'll see where they go. And to everyone that's heading out there, I can't wait to see you guys. I love the expo. I love doing all this stuff. It's an amazing time. It's the best time of year for me, other than, where we start off again in LA and start running the season. But the Olympia wraps up everything for the year, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. So I'll see you guys out there. I'm Biockickz, and I approve this message, and we're out.